Holy heck, I just finished surgery. It's 12:30.
I am officially 96 kgs down.
I'm currently 1 day post-op.
Weight loss surgery has become an increasingly common option for people grappling with obesity. A sleeve gastrectomy, where a large portion of the stomach is removed, is the most popular procedure. But surgery can be expensive, and more people are applying for and getting approved for compassionate release of their superannuation to fund their entire surgery or the shortfall not covered by private medical insurance.
People think it's the easy way out. It's not the easy way out.
I love carrot cake.
Philly and Natasha both had weight loss surgery in 2025. With the procedure costing as much as $30,000, they opted to use superannuation to help cover the shortfall not covered by private health insurance.
So with Philly's one, he got something called a gastric sleeve plus a SADI, which is the standard gastric sleeve surgery. So his gap fee was about $10,000.
That's the fee that comes under the superannuation.
Yeah, my gap fee was $7,000 because I just got the gastric sleeve. So that came out of my super.
For them, the procedure has been life-changing.
Intimacy has gotten so much better for us. So for me, being physical and being able, it has been really great for me.
I think also we never spoke about children at the weight we were. With the surgery, it's give us opportunity to talk about it.
My admission date's been set for the 11th.
At his heaviest, Philly weighed somewhere around 300 kgs.
When I saw the doctor and he goes, you literally have 2 years left before you die.
Philly managed to get his weight to under 200 kgs and finally opted to get the gastric sleeve in Australia. He's been documenting the journey on TikTok.
I can fit 3XL business t-shirts.
I never thought it would reach this many people. I just wanted to put it out there for me and to be able to look back 2, 3, 4 years and be like, oh, look where I came from.
So, how does the surgery work? Technically, it's called a sleeve gastrectomy, where 70 to 80% of the stomach is permanently removed. Using small keyhole incisions in the abdomen, the surgeon carefully removes the larger curved portion of the stomach. The remaining stomach is reshaped into a narrow tube called a sleeve, which holds much less food. The surgery also reduces the production of the hunger hormone ghrelin, which helps suppress appetite. Over time, the patient loses a significant amount of weight. We've come to Epworth Hospital in Richmond. Bariatric surgeon Dr. Dan Foley is performing a sleeve gastrectomy today, and he's let us in to film the surgery.
So this is the keyhole camera itself. This is how we see. That's where it demonstrates the picture for us. And then these are the little ports that go through the skin. So camera goes inside the ports, just like so.
So the surgery is well underway right now, and it's incredible that we get to witness one. The number of gastric sleeve surgeries in Australia is actually on the decline. Some experts say the introduction of GLP-1s like Ozempic, Wegovy and Mounjaro are giving people more options. But it's also a sign people could be opting for cheaper surgeries overseas.
And additionally, I think it's a cost of living crisis at the moment and people are really struggling to make ends meet. And that drives people to look for more cost-effective alternatives. And some of those alternatives are offshore, including places such as Turkey.
Costs for the gastric sleeve surgery in Istanbul, Turkey.
And I've chosen Riyadh Hospital in Istanbul, Turkey.
Turkey is one of the top 5 global destinations for cosmetic surgery, with over 1.5 million medical tourists visiting annually. People flock here for surgeries which cost 50 to 70% cheaper than Australia, and low wait times. This is what drew Margaret to choose surgery in Turkey.
It's been more than 24 hours since I had my surgery. It was probably when I had a car accident. My son was in the car, and that was like the real eye-opener, that it was like, I can't wait. I can't wait on a waiting list and then get told that it's going to be a year.
In Turkey, a gastric sleeve often costs between $6,000 and $12,000. This includes airport transfers, hospital stay, surgery, and a few days recovery, often in a luxury hotel. Margaret paid $11,500 for her surgery.
The service, everything from the airport pickup is insane. Like, we got picked up in like these cool as fancy transits that took us to our hotel. Like, there wasn't anything that I could like fault about it. Just everything was just so nice.
What about the hospital and medical facilities?
Yeah, compared to our public hospitals, it was still flash, and the rooms were it just was more spacious.
Since 2018, compassionate release of superannuation funds approved by the ATO has risen every year from 200 million to 255 million in the 2024 to 2025 financial year.
Unfortunately, the surgery is expensive and private health insurance doesn't cover all the costs. And then there's some people that don't take out private insurance and seek to pay for it up front themselves. I think it is important that people do have the option to take out their super, to have this life-changing surgery that allows people to live long enough to probably enjoy their super.
Between 2024 and 2025, more than 13,000 people received compassionate release of superannuation funds for weight loss surgery. But experts say sometimes people take off overseas for surgery.
But what can happen is once the money is released, the people can cancel their surgery and they don't have to put it back into their super. They can then choose to use their super overseas. So I think there is a little loophole that maybe the ATU might need to look into.
Doctors are also warning they're seeing people return from Turkey with post-operative complications, including leaks, infections and twisted stomachs.
We are seeing it, unfortunately, and I work at a big public hospital in Melbourne. We've certainly had people that have landed on our doorstep very unwell, having been put on a plane back from Turkey and from other overseas countries from that matter, you know, really almost too unwell to travel, and we've had to care for them, and of course we do.
Dr. Dan Foley has some idea on how he believes overseas hospitals and surgeons could be cutting corners.
These sort of instruments are where a huge amount of the cost comes from. So this particular handle, this black bit that is reusable, I believe it lasts for 50 patients or 50 operations, and it costs tens and tens of thousands of dollars. In order for them to do surgery significantly cheaper overseas, they somehow have access to much cheaper or lower quality instruments and equipment. So I would presume that in other countries where they're doing the surgery significantly cheaper, that everybody is on a significantly lower wage, or they're utilising people who don't have quite the same level of qualification and experience.
So at any point, did you consider Turkey or overseas for surgery?
I'm going to be very honest, absolutely not. It never crossed our mind, we never talked about it. We saw all the other people, we saw social media, but it never crossed our mind.
The ABC asked the ATO whether people were using their compassionate superannuation releases for surgery overseas. Here's what they said.
There is no requirement in the law for an individual to confirm to the ATO that they used their compassionate release superannuation to pay for the approved expenses. If people are found to be in breach, they would face consequences including fines.
Do your research. If you're considering overseas or if you're considering Australia, do your research. There is great aftercare plans here that you might not necessarily get overseas.
Do it in a way that's really going to support you to get the best outcome you can, and that usually involves working with a surgeon who recognises that you need a team around you and that you need ongoing care and you need to be supported throughout your life to make sure that you get that best result you can.